on The View and schooled Whoopi and Joy Behar about Trump. By all accounts, Sarah Huckabee Sanders has done a highly effective job in her new position as White House press secretary, succeeding at wrangling the press corps where former press secretary Sean Spicer failed. The rhetorically gifted Sanders recently appeared with her father Mike Huckabee on leftist propaganda platform The View on ABC and ended up nimbly handling the liberal hosts and their digs at Trump. In classic graceless leftist fashion, host Joy Behar directly attacked Mike about Trump, saying, "Trump, the things he says about women are just horrendous and we all know that. So let's not pretend that he hasn't said some horrifying things about women. We know that. Just nod. You don't have to say anything, just nod because you know it's true. Having said that, how can you let your daughter defend him?" The two Huckabees did not let this ruffle their feathers, and Sanders waited for and got her chance to hit back. Asked Whoopi Goldberg, trying to attack Trump as being infantile, "So when you get those calls oh he's tweeting and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, how do you do everything with the kids and trying to do your job?" And answered Sarah, "Well, I'm already up. As a parent you're up 24/7 a day. So it's an easy transition." Whoopi continued, "How old are your children, I should ask?" Sanders replied, 5, almost 4 and 2. She continued, "Little babies. So they have perfectly prepared me to deal with the White House press corps. I get to answer the same question all day long. How much do you love Sarah for this? Watch below." He's a deranged hitchhiker. Hillary attacks Bernie Sanders for election, Bernie hits right back. Hillary Clinton wrote a book all about why she lost to President Trump in the election. According to her book, it's everybody's fault except for her own, including Bernie Sanders. According to her, he had no arguments against her, so he just attacked her character. She claimed that Bernie Sanders led sexist attacks against her. She went on to call Bernie Sanders a deranged hitchhiker. She claimed that Sanders was promising more than he could deliver and made an analogy to a scene in the movie There's Something About Mary. A deranged hitchhiker says he's come up with a brilliant plan. Instead of the famous 8-minute ABS exercise routine, he's going to market 7-minute ABS. It's the same, just quicker, she wrote. Then the driver, played by Ben Stiller, says, "Well, why not 6-minute ABS?" That's what it was like in policy debates with Bernie. We would propose a bold infrastructure investment plan or an ambitious new apprenticeship program for young people, and then Bernie would announce basically the same thing, but bigger. On issue after issue, it was like he kept proposing 4-minute ABS, or even no-minute ABS. Magic ABS. She wrote. She dedicated a lot of time in the book to insulting Bernie Sanders. On an interview, Bernie was asked what he thought about all this. "My response is that right now it's appropriate to look forward and not backward. I'm working overtime now to see we overturn Trump's decision on DACA, pass a $15 an hour minimum wage, and next week I'll be offering a Medicare for all single-payer system," responded Sanders. Watch Sarah Sanders completely crush Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders went on to The View and completely destroyed Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. Joy Behar claimed that 95% of what President Trump says is a lie. "I feel for you. I feel sorry for you. That you have to go out and defend those lies every day," said Behar. "The problem with that, Joy, is that you are doing exactly what we are talking about and pushing a false narrative," said Sanders. "It's simply not accurate, and I think that's one of the dangers we have right now is pushing so many false narratives every day, creating false perceptions about the president," said Sanders. Whoopi Goldberg attacked Trump for birtherism, which was started by Hillary Clinton. "Where was President Obama born and is he an American citizen?" asked Goldberg. Sanders responded by saying that the issue has been well addressed. President Trump did admit that Obama was born in the United States, and that he has much bigger things to worry about. Sanders also attacked the media. She said she is used to dealing with them because she raised young children. It perfectly prepared me to deal with the White House press corps, she said. Check out Sarah Huckabee Sanders in the video below. Stephen Colbert claims President Trump didn't meet with a single storm victim, he gets crushed. The Late Show host Stephen Colbert claimed that President Trump didn't meet with any of the Hurricane Harvey victims while he was in Texas. This is an outright lie. Trump visited with them. He's donated $1 million of his own money to them and more. It was a presidential trip to a deluged state where the president didn't meet a single storm victim, see an inch of rain or get near a flooded street, Colbert said. The Late Show host has seen his fair share of controversy. Early this year he got in trouble when he referred to President Trump as Putin's sequester. Colbert has been one of the most vocal critics of President Trump on all of late-night television. He is one-sided, biased, and not funny. President Trump recently made an announcement on how we will continue to help the victims. In difficult times such as these, we see the true character of the American people, their strength, their love and their resolve. We see friend helping friend, neighbor helping neighbor, and stranger helping stranger, and together we will endure and we will overcome, said President Trump. We are here with you today. We are with you tomorrow. And we will be with you every single day after to restore, recover and rebuild, said Trump. See Colbert's lies for yourself in the video below. You calling me a racist? One Gutfeld hits back at Juan Williams when he goes too far. Democrats are angry that Republican President Donald Trump rescinded the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program because, among other things, it will cost them up to 800,000 votes. Fox News contributor Juan Williams clearly could not maintain his professionalism and composure and let his emotions get the better of him in a recent episode of The Five. Juan attempted to compare the totally unrelated act of President Trump pardoning Sheriff Joe Arpaio to Trump rescinding DACA. Greg Gutfeld stated how he has been hearing this comparison over and over again from liberals. He said, "It's just a way to steer the argument from somewhere else." Juan then declared that it's above the law. Responded Greg, "It is. Just something to think about. When an illegal alien gets a job, who's that job taken from? Who could have filled that job? A white person or a black person? Did you ever think about that?" Answered Juan, "Yeah, I have thought about that." Shot back Gutfeld, "Because you only see it as race. I see it as Americans, you see it as race." Juan then said that Trump called Mexicans rapists, thieves, and murderers, and Gutfeld retorted, "You're deflecting now." At this point Williams lost his temper. He shouted, "I'm not deflecting. You don't like to deal with race because it makes you feel guilty, Greg." Answered Greg, "Are you out of your mind? I'll talk to you about race until I'm blue in the face." Williams replied, "If you do away with immigrants who came and acted as honorable." Greg cut him off, saying, I know. You're calling me a racist. I hear it. You're calling me a racist, Juan." "Well done," replied Williams, "I'm not calling you a racist. That would be easy for you. Are you glad Greg stood his ground against Juan? Watch below. FU, the producer of Modern Family has repulsive message for Christians after DACA repeal. The hit sitcom Modern Family depicts an out-of-date, Obama-era fantasy about what a tolerant, liberal-minded family looks like. It turns out its producer Danny Zucker has ideas that are deeply out of step with present-day America. In a recent Twitter rant, Zucker, who is not Christian, attempted to shame any Christians who support President Donald Trump's decision to end the unconstitutional DACA program. Said Zucker, "Dear Christian, if you support Donald Trump's decision to end DACA, then your Christianity is bullshit. But on the other hand, fuck you." Thankfully, a conservative smartly shot back at him. Here's exec producer of ABC's at Modern Fam trashing Christians and urging Americans who respect rule of law to not watch Modern Family again. This only succeeded in making Danny see red. However, as he continued, "I do wish people had half the outrage they have for me typing fuck for Trump literally tearing families apart." He added, "How's this? It seems tearing families apart is at odds with the Judeo-Christian values of some of those advocating ending DACA better?" Zucker went on, "So those who march with the KKK are fine people, but brown-skinned folks brought here as kids trying to make it are a threat." Defend DACA. He then attempted to backtrack on his slur against Christians by claiming, "Not shitting on a whole religion. Just the minority of that religion who thinks it's awesome to tear people from the only home they've known." Do you find this liberal's words against Christians disgusting? James Woods just called out what the huge scam behind DACA is in one tweet. It's viral. Democrats like to claim that they're on the side of minorities, immigrants and the oppressed, with the way they expressed outrage over the fact that President Donald Trump decided to end DACA and shift the matter of changes to immigration laws to Congress where it should have been in the first place. Academy Award-nominated actor James Woods, who has been a prominent conservative voice in Hollywood, shared what he believes in the real reason why Democrats were so up in arms about DACA being rescinded. Stated Woods via his Twitter account, "DACA is yet another voter fraud scam by the Democrats, pure and simple. Democrat larvae. The Democrats would stand to gain nearly 1 million votes if DACA were to be upheld, particularly in key states like Texas where they would like to see gains, and swing states like New Mexico and Colorado where they have at times struggled to get Democratic politicians elected." Many on Twitter agreed with Woods' assessment, with one user posting, "Agreed. Guaranteed future votes by DACAs and then their children." Added another, "That's part of their Get Out the Vote campaign." One more user continued, "Of course it is. Everything Democrats do is a plan to advance their voter registration somewhere down the road. And that is a fact." Now that the buck has been passed to Congress, however, some fear that Republicans will capitulate and end up making DACA recipients legal again. Commented Town Hall's Kurt Schlichter, "Yeah, their deal is we give you Democrats what you want and, in exchange, you call us racists when Elizabeth Warren proposes to declare all these middle-aged dreamer kids U.S. citizens. Because, you know, they had dreams and stuff." Do you think James Woods is right?